The A4 pulley is the second most commonly injured pulley in climbers, right behind the infamous A2. In this video, we're going to tell you everything you need to know about how A4 injuries happen, how you can identify them, how to create an awesome recovery strategy, and of course, how long it'll take until you're back to 100%. The A4 pulley is a short band of connective tissue in the middle segment of our fingers that helps keep the flexor tendon in place under load. If the load is too high, a tear can occur anywhere from a very small grade 1 to a full rupture or grade 3. This can even happen to a perfectly healthy pulley, like when your foot unexpectedly slips off of a hold, resulting in a major shock load to your finger. Naturally though, the likelihood of injury tends to increase if there's been any previous degradation of the tissue. This can happen over the course of a single session, like when performing a high-intensity crimp too many times in a row, but it can also happen over the course of many weeks if we consistently exceed our pulley's ability to heal and adapt between climbing and training sessions. With that second scenario, where the degradation builds up over multiple weeks, you may actually notice some symptoms from that alone, even if you never experienced a sudden acute overload of the pulley. We tend to call this a chronic or overuse injury. It's essentially an accumulation of minor tissue damage that leads to persistent inflammation, reduced tissue integrity, and pain. In my practice, I tend not to call this a grade 1 pulley injury because it's not the same as an acute sprain, but the recovery protocol is essentially the same between the two. So if your A4 injury is from overuse rather than acute trauma, you can simply treat it like a grade 1. Now you might be wondering why some climbers seem to be way more prone to pulley injuries than others. There could be a ton of factors at play, but here's one of the more interesting ones. You know how cats have those weird spines on their tongues that make them feel super rough in one direction but smooth in another? There's sort of a similar thing going on in our fingers, with ridges in the pulley tissue that increase friction between the pulley and flexor tendon in one direction. This helps us lock into a crimp under heavy load without making it hard for the two structures to slide past each other under lighter loads. Some individuals are believed to have more of this friction than others, which could be an advantage for grip strength. However, it could make pulley tears more likely if the hand opens up under heavy load, kind of like scraping extra hard against an extra spiny cat tongue. The amount to which this phenomenon actually contributes to pulley injuries is still being investigated, but I think it's worth paying attention to how frequently you allow your hand to open up on hard crimps. There may be some interesting correlations there. Let's identify the specific signs and symptoms of an A4 pulley injury. Keep in mind, you can make this a whole lot easier on yourself by using the free finger injury assessment tool on our website, which we specifically designed to help you understand the type and severity of your injury. Simply answer a series of multiple choice questions and get results. Please note this is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice or diagnosis, but it's an awesome way to jumpstart your injury knowledge. Did I mention it's free?